Was that a stormtrooper? Oh.
I picked up a Black Series Stormtrooper last week. This is not from Portland.
Ah, gotcha. Very nice, very nice. Everybody, welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael, the jet-lagged, even though I didn't change time zones, Michael.
Well, anytime you're on a plane, you have a run the possibility of being jet-lagged.
Well, that, and because it was a commuter plane, I'm 6'5", these seats are not.
Very true, yes.
So it was only, admittedly, it was only a 2-hour flight, but it was like, I'm sitting here like this the whole time going, oh my God, I'm so freaking grand. You know, but it was okay. I mean, Portland Airport is entirely too damn busy at 4:30 in the morning. That's all I gotta say.
4:30 in the morning?
Okay. Our flight left Portland at 6:30.
Okay.
I'm home. We had to turn in the rental car.
Okay.
So we left the hotel at about 4:40. I'm sorry, no, we got up at 4:40. We were out the door by 5 to 5. We were at the airport by 5:10. Had the car turned in. Those people were idiots. And then we checked into the airport. So we were ready. We were checked into the airport and behind security by 5:20, 5:30 thereabouts.
Okay. And
Portland is just way too damn busy. It's not just the magical land of hipsters, Kubi, but it is, you know, to quote Portlandia, the dream of the 90s is alive in Portland. But honestly, it's, I mean, all hipster and there are a grip ton of hipsters. Yeah, there are, no argument. But there's a grip ton of hipsters in LA. There's a grip ton of hipsters in Ventura. There's a grip ton of hipsters in the Bay Area. So they're pretty much everywhere. But oh my God, it's so funny. Did I send you the picture of the bumper sticker in the window, Jason?
Remind me. Sorry.
The misspelling of Oregon.
Yes.
Oregon. Orygun. America. Yeah, that was interesting. But it's beautiful country, and I got to see Dark Horse Comics. Unfortunately, none of the people I know were there because it was a Saturday, so you know the place was closed up. But it was cool. I mean, I now know where Dark Horse is. Their whole 2-block area. They own this old town. You know Old Town Orange, where the circle is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's kind of like that, only without the circle. And
okay,
Dark Horse owns like 2 huge blocks each side of the street. And then there's a bank, and then there's another building that's Dark Horse. And in there also is the original Things from Another World, which is anyone who's been to Universal City Walk, there's a comic shop called Things from Another World that's owned by Dark Horse. This is the original of that shop. It was some pretty cool stuff. I mean, it was amazingly small, but you know, it's an old town. It's in an area called Milwaukee, which is technically south of Portland, but realistically it may as well be Portland. You know, it's not Portland the way Hollywood is not Los Angeles. It's that freaking close.
Gotcha. Okay.
That may as well be a district, you know. But the area up there is beautiful, but it's so weird how you can go from hipsterville to beautiful countryside to America. You know, it's
so instead of crossing the entire country, you're just like, I'll just go 10 miles in this one city.
Pretty much. Like I said, there's some beautiful stuff up there. I found the ultimate gamer store in my mind.
Yeah, you were telling me about this place.
I posted a picture of it on my Facebook called it's called Gaming Guardians, I think it is. Or Guardian Games or something like that. Yeah, Guardian Games, that's it. This place is huge. The inside of the store is easily twice as big as my apartment. That's not saying much. I'd say the interior of the store is easily 2,500, 3,000 square feet. And a third of it is the actual product. So you've got like board games and card games and mini games. I mean, I was able to pick up one of the new map packs for BattleTech for $25.
Damn.
I picked up mech packs while I was there. For those of you who play X-Wing minis and can't find the stupid little card sleeves that fit the little cards in the pack that certain comic shop owners said didn't exist, Yes, they do. This shop was like, it's like I posted on Facebook, let me sing you the song of my people. This shop was incredible. So you've got the 1/3 that's all product and stuff.
Right.
And then that wraps around over here where the minis and the BattleTech stuff is. And they have all the current BattleTech and a lot of the older original classic BattleTech stuff. They had in their case what I'm guessing is I want to say it's the original, but it's not really. It's right around the time of the original, so it's like second printing.
Okay.
Of the original D&D rules.
Oh, wow.
The ones that still say written by Gary Gygax and his partner. I forget the partner name.
Wow.
But I looked at this cover, I'm like, holy shit, I haven't seen this cover in over 30 years.
That's actually very impressive.
Yeah. and the people there, they're not douches. They're all really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another chunk of it. Once you get past the product, there's a chunk down the center and over and then to the back. That's all tables. And they were doing a pre-release for the new Magic the Gathering set.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, by the way, they had an unopened box of SAO by Schwartz cards, Jason.
Volume 1 or Volume 2?
Volume 1.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, Volume 2 came out on Friday.
We were looking and we're like going, oh, Jason needs to come here.
I already bought and opened 2 boxes.
But anyway, so the tables they're doing the pre-release for Magic Gathering, and there were over 200 people there just for that.
Wow.
And here's the kicker. I know you're like, oh, but wait, this is awesome. What else could there be? Alcohol. There's a non-minor section that you can go into, and they have somebody at the door to make sure the children don't go in there.
Right.
Where you can go in and buy beer. I discovered something really neat about Portland. They're really cool about being green and everything. And yeah, you have your hipster idiots, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you have some cool people too.
Okay.
But they're obsessed with 2 things: coffee and beer.
Mix them together,
there are more coffee shops in downtown Portland.
It's Portland, Oregon. Of course, it's going to have a crapload
and microbrews. And Flynn's Arcade lives, sort of. There's a place called Ground Control, spelled with a K, that is nothing but old video games.
Does the owner go by Major Tom?
I don't know. I never actually got to go. I never got to go into it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Next time I go up there, because I will be going up there again. Next time I go up there, it's on my hit list. Nikki had her hit list. I had my hit list. We hit all of Nikki's hit list. We hit most of my hit list.
Good.
And oh man, did you get that picture set that I sent you yet? By the way, have you pulled it off?
Not yet.
Because we could use that as a fade into the one thing, our bit of culture. But anyway, so yeah, that's everywhere. But the Ground Control Comics is basically Flynn's Arcade with alcohol.
That's actually pretty amazing. I love it.
And their public transit system is pretty impressive. So, and there's no sales tax. Yeah. What's even funny is I heard something amusing. Apparently, Washington has no income tax.
Mm-hmm.
Portland is literally on the border of Oregon, so people will live in Washington, drive into Oregon to buy all their major purchases, and drive out.
Okay, then. I like this. Oh, good times.
And then there's this epic bookstore called Powell's Books.
Powell's Books.
So
what I'm hearing,
Book City.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that Portland's going to be like a really cool place that you probably be moving to.
There is a very strong possibility that when we move, that may be where we go to.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not guaranteed yet.
But that's not everything that you picked up while you're there, correct?
Well, we'll talk about what I picked up more.
Okay.
Let's hear what you did this weekend.
What I did this weekend, aside from going to IKEA and just like, this would be nice in an apartment that I don't live in yet.
IKEA's evil.
Yeah, window shopping IKEA can get very, very expensive. No, I also hung out at the Renaissance Fair earlier today.
Nice.
It was nice to go back, and this year apparently they're doing themed weekends. So,
which is trippy.
Yeah. The nice thing though is that actually a lot of the usual crew, the usual performers are there. Bells of Bedlam are there. Poxy Boggards are always there. The falconry person, and of course the amazing costumes and pieces that you can only pretty much get at the fair. Food was always epic, as you know, as always. There was actually 2 groups in there that I actually never got a chance to watch before, and I'm kind of sad I only got around to them now. One of them is kind of like the Bells of Bedlam, which is like a very naughty comedy troupe. But this group's called the Merry Wives of Windsor.
I've heard of them.
They are freaking hilarious. Just think, you know, in the style of classic folk music or Celtic music at times, but it is like all NC-17 comedy.
Nice.
It's absolutely hilarious. And then we actually hung out afterwards because there was another group coming behind them that blends heavy metal, Celtic rock, and folk punk, all in an acoustic format.
Oh,
and they were amazing. They're called the Dread Crew of Oddwood. These guys are unbelievably epic. Their comedy is also on the NC-17 level.
But how does it compare with the I think it was the Poxy Boggards doing version of Testicles in the Sack of Rome?
Take Poxy Boggards.
Okay.
Throw a crapload of mead at them. Wait 20 minutes, and then you get Dread Crew of Oddwood, and then add, you know, some Pantera in there.
Okay.
Because you have this guy that seriously, you know, looks like if a member of a death metal band tried to dress up as a pirate and then picked up the accordion.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because among the things I found was perusing Powell's City of Books. I came across 2 instances of Shakespearean plays that I'd never seen before.
Give us an idea.
I'll give you an idea here.
Yeah.
Now is the summer of our happiness, made winter by the sudden fierce attack. Our ship is under siege, I know not how. Oh, hast thou heard? The main reactor fails. We shall most surely be destroyed by this. I'll warrant madness lies herein. The princes shall have no escape this time. I fear battle doth portend the end of the rebellion. Oh, what misery. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they did it, and I picked them up. They apparently haven't released Jedi yet, but oh man, I walked in, I saw these. In fact, that picture is when I saw them. No, I took that from the hotel, but I saw those and I was like, oh my god, I have to get this. It's the entire script, or the entire story done in William Shakespeare form, William Shakespeare language. I mean, they replaced what words they could, but you know, you have to keep things like droid and
Wookiee
and Wookiee and Death Star. But
pray tell thee, let the Wookiee win.
Actually, I've read that sequence. It's pretty funny. I think I have it bookmarked. Hang on. I'll find, here it is. Let's see here. Let's see. Here it is. Hang on. I'm looking. A fair move hath he made, thou furry lump. No use is there in screaming o'er the loss. However did I join this company? A Wookiee and his smuggler captain O. Han. Be wise, droid, and mark well what thou dost. As it said, black holes are worth thy fear, but fear thou more a Wookiee's deadly wrath. And it goes on from there.
I have to read these.
It's hilarious.
It's fantastic. Amazing. Love it. I need to check these out.
So I picked those up, and I also picked up, finally, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.
Excellent book.
An excellent book. And it was great. It was fantastic. You have to go. You have to go. That's all I can say.
I'll make it a point to. But I do have to say though that while the Shakespearean Star Wars books makes me laugh,
That was awesome.
definitely want to read them. It also makes me want to curse Disney for what they announced this past week.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I mean, let me phrase that. I know why they did it. I just think they're stupid to do it.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, there's, aside from the movies, the original trilogy, we're gonna pretend the prequels don't exist. But there's a plethora of games, comics,
Expanded universe.
of all the expanded universe. Yeah. Well, we already knew from a couple weeks ago that Disney was working on selecting parts of the expanded universe that would actually be kept, and the rest would be cut off with a chainsaw. That's no longer the case. Mainly for the fact that they said, you know what, screw it. Everything that's out that's not the movies are now considered legacy. They are not officially part of canon. They're not officially part of the expanded universe.
Which is...
The storylines...
People are going to scream because there's such huge fan bases around Mara Jade.
Yes.
Around the twins. Around... I mean, hell, there's comic series still in production.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's not even talk about the Cade Skywalker storyline in Legacy, which I'm currently rereading. Oh God,
yeah.
Disney, freaking idiots.
Now, here's the thing, though. I guess they're gonna take, or this story group that Disney put together to actually approve storylines and canon for every bit of media that's gonna come out from now until eternity. Now, for the most part, I look at this as, well, crap. There's some really epic books out there that I've read, and now they're no longer canon. Well,
let alone games.
Yeah, the games.
How does this affect SWTOR, which is an active game world?
Gone. Yeah, gone. The thing is that they claim they're going to, be able to incorporate versions of expanded universe characters from time periods set during the 6, as they're calling, core canon films. So characters like Dash Rendar and Kyle Katarn has a chance to actually make its way back into canon. But
so are they counting Clone Wars as non-existent as well?
Clone Wars is canon.
So Clone Wars counts as canon.
Clone Wars counts as canon. All 6 movies are canon.
So there are expanded universe characters that were in Clone Wars, so they're now canon. Okay.
Right. I mean, they hid behind the fact that they claim that Lucas always made it clear that he was not beholden to the expanded universe. He set the films he created as canon, and anything else beyond that, well, it's kind of hard to completely control it. Now with them having their own story ideas for these upcoming movies, and at the rate of like a movie a year, they created this new story crew. They have their own ideas probably for the next 15 to 20 years. And so now they're going to be calling the shots on everything. Here's the thing, though. Like I said, there are some aspects of this I loathe. But at the same time, it'll be curious to see how they tie in, some of the more popular expanded universe characters, how they pull them back into canon, and how they're going to introduce new characters. They already announced a slew of new books coming out over the next 6 to 12 months. These are the first of the official new expanded universe, if you want to call it that.
Well, and then how are they going to distinguish that, too? Because there's a lot of books that are out now in the existing expanded universe.
Anything in the expanded universe right now that's still continuing on will carry the term Star Wars Legacy.
Okay.
Everything else that's official is going to be Star Wars.
Oh, okay, because like for example, I'm sitting here looking at Star Wars Legacy. There's a problem with that.
Yeah, there's like
Star Wars Legacy is an entire series.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Cade Skywalker story.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And what happens after the Yuzhong?
No, my apologies. My apologies. It's not Legacy. It's Legends.
Okay.
It's Legends. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's
even so.
It's still. I mean, it makes it easier to distinguish some things, but Still, wow, just
Yeah.
wow. I mean, okay, I want to see what they're going to do with it, but are they going to allow people to continue to write in that Legends timeline? Because technically, they did that. That's effectively what they did with Star Trek.
Right.
The minute the J.J. Abrams movie took off, boom, they just said alternate timeline. All fanboy arguments are now null and void.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I really hope they don't do that with this.
The question is, since you've got things like, if they're just calling everything prior non-canon or Legends or whatever they're calling it, not official, how do you deal with things like SWTOR, which are not only current but
Insanely popular.
insanely popular and evolving current?
Yeah.
They just rolled out a major expansion and included things like garrisons and whatnot, player housing.
Given the fact that they're allowing keeping like a part of the door cracked open for the possibility of bringing popular parts of the expanded universe back into canon, my question is, what's going to be changed in order to bring them back into canon?
Well, yeah, and in the case of Old Republic's 4,000 years before Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Knights of the Old Republic is 2,000 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're talking Time of Revan.
Yes.
Revan,
yes.
Which is an awesome storyline, and I'd love to see them find a way.
I'd love to see them find a way into it.
Because you need something to straddle that midline, but that's a whole other geek argument.
It is, but I will say this. Even with all these changes, I'm still going to be buying these upcoming books because they sound interesting. There's actually 4 of them. I'm going to go through them briefly real quick. We'll go for the light side first. First one's going to be in the left side. It's called The New Dawn. This one's actually going to serve as a prequel to the upcoming Star Wars Rebels cartoon. It's actually going to introduce you 2 of the main characters. Kind of see how that's going to...
New Dawn's going to be the intro to that?
New Dawn is the intro to Rebels.
Well, they're making points by throwing a Twi'lek on the cover.
Yeah. On the right-hand side, we have a... I guess you can call it a variation of Han Solo.
Oh, that's Luke.
Sorry, of Luke Skywalker for heir to the Jedi.
Is this going to be one of the in-betweens between the end of Jedi and the start of Ep 7?
That's what I'm hearing. But these will be fun to read. But the ones I'm really curious to see how they're going to interact with this and how they're going to expand the canon are the 2 dark side novels coming out, called Lords of the Sith and Star Wars Tarkin.
Tarkin's dead, so Tarkin's these have to be prequels,
right? I want to see how they fill in his backstory.
Oh, but wait a minute. They've already kind of done some of that. In Clone Wars, we meet Captain Tarkin.
Right. All I have to say is going back to Luke Skywalker looking the way he does in the cover for Heir to the Jedi. All I'm saying is Mara Jade still better exist.
Yeah, well, yeah, because she becomes his wife.
Right.
Which they could, and they have the option of doing that. Basically, taking we want you to rewrite the Mara Jade story.
Yeah.
We'll see. The potential is there for something really cool, but it sucks that it's happened before with other series we like. It happened with Star Trek to an extent. Not the same though. It's just the movies.
I do have to wonder though. Oh, sorry,
and it happened with Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
I mean, they completely rebooted that bitch. Mm-hmm. And it happens with comics all the damn time. Like the thing we're going to talk about later. I've got to come back to that.
Okay.
But they kill characters off all the damn time in comics, and they restart stuff. I mean, DC's New 52.
Right.
That's what it was all about. Where they
rebooted the entire universe.
Well, exactly. They cherry picked parts of the past they wanted to keep, like some of Jason Todd's stuff and whatnot. And how he became Red Hood and whatnot.
Right.
And they ditched others. Marvel did the same thing with Marvel Now.
I'm curious because I haven't checked it yet, but one of the more collaborative and probably one of the largest Star Wars fan base encyclopedias out there, the Wikipedia. There's over 110,000 articles on that site. How many of them were
go in and throw legends at the end of it?
How many of them just got nixed?
Well, the thing is that isn't it? It's not run by LucasArts.
No, it's not.
It's a fan-driven item.
It's an entirely fan-driven site.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they blow up.
Yeah. So we shall see about this. Disney, you love to do your own thing, and even though we're raging on it, we are still hopeful for some sort of redemption.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be good, and we'll probably read it. I'm going to go see the movies anyway. I know it.
The thing is, though, Disney is not going to stop at this, because they make all these adjustments to the Star Wars universe so they can have their own take on it, so they can make more money on it. Then
as they don't turn it into My Pretty Princess.
They're getting close with a couple other bits, because you know how they've been on the side thinking, you know what, we can make movies based on our rides at our parks. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean made a crapload of money. Haunted Mansion, not so much. Their next one,
the game for that movie was actually kind of fun, though.
Was it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay. Although I have to say, this next one, I see no way in hell this is gonna work. Disney's
announce what it is, because I already have a comeback for it.
Okay, yeah. Disney decided, you know what? Our next ride turn movie is gonna be It's a Small World.
It's Dora the Explorer. Dora the Coyote.
Didn't they learn their mistakes on like National Treasure and Sorcerer's Apprentice?
National Treasure wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't, oh my God, it warrants 5 sequels, but it wasn't horrible. It was a bad Indiana Jones knockoff. Is what
it was a really bad knockoff.
It was an attempt at a modern. It was, let's mix Indiana Jones with Tom Hanks' Da Vinci Code. That's what National Treasure was. It was direct answer to Da Vinci Code.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, we already know.
Have they revealed a plot yet?
No, they revealed only the writer so far, who actually worked on Bolt, The Princess and the Frog, and Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay, one of those was good. Actually, that's not true. I actually kind of liked Bolt, but Bolt was just way too formulaic.
I kind of wish that this project never got the green light, because they had another ride turn movie project that actually I would have been fine with to watch. They were going to do a Jungle Cruise movie starring Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Oh, God.
I think that would have a better chance than this.
It'd be nice to see Tom Hanks do a comedy again.
Yes, it would.
Because the man is a comedic genius. I mean, he's a hell of a dramatic actor, obviously, but he's a comedic genius too.
Yes, he is. But you know, Disney likes to move forward. We're doing a lot of Disney stuff this episode.
I've got to make up for the sponsored by Disney.
We kind of do. I mean, aside from the other major company underneath them now, Marvel, they already announced they're making the first Marvel-themed ride for a Disney theme park in Hong Kong in 2016. Or 2015, sorry.
Why does Hong Kong get it first? What the hell?
Because I'm guessing some Chinese company is probably footing the bill for it.
Bastards.
I mean, you already know that the circle vision in the background, or not the Hall of Tomorrow, is now turned to be like the...
Oh, the Stark Pavilion?
Yeah, it's now becoming like the Marvel area, it seems to be.
Which is not a horrible thing.
True. But then you look at all these movies coming out, and of course they have all these franchise tie-ins that have to go anywhere. You think all of the actors and directors and producers would be, tied down nonstop. Apparently not the case. We already know that who plays Coulson? Clark Gregg.
Oh, I love him.
He has a new movie that he written, produced, directed, and starred.
Yes, Kubi, there is a Disneyland in Hong Kong. It opened a couple years ago, and they got a kick-ass ride. In fact, we showed footage from it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. What was it? Laser projections, the state-of-the-art animatronics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Anyway,
impressive.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so Clark Gregg has a new movie coming out. The trailer is all right. It's a coming-of-age story, second chance at redemption. He's basically a producer for a talent agency that's failing. Finds a girl that he thinks he could be good, and then it's him trying to stick with her as they go through thick and thin. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather check out the other movie trailer that we're actually going to watch right now. Jon Favreau, his big tie into it is the Iron Man movies. He initially started
not just Iron Man. He was also in Hellboy.
That's right, he was in Hellboy. I'm just sticking with like within the Marvel universe at this point.
Oh, okay.
That I was saying about that. Looks like he had actually some extra free time, so he created a smaller budget movie, and brought some of his friends to join him: Scarlett Johansson and Robert Downey Jr. This trailer makes me hungry. Here's the latest trailer for his new movie called Chef.
Okay, so we got Sofia Vergara, we got Dustin Hoffman, John Leguizamo, which is good to see him again. Oh, that actually looks fun.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'll see it in the movie or in a theater per se.
Okay,
that's another thing that's really freaking hard to find in Portland. Oh my God, there's so few movie theaters up there. Sorry,
it's all good.
It looks like it would be fun to watch. I would like to see it.
Yeah, I will probably go see this one in theaters and then go out to eat afterwards because it'll make me so hungry.
Well, you know what? Here's what you can do then. Depending on when it comes out, you come up here, we go see it together. As soon as it's done, we go to Gen across the street from it.
Works for me.
You liked Gen.
I did like Gen, yeah. I liked it.
It's not exactly Moon Pig, as I used to call it. It's not Flower Pig, but it's...
True. Should we go to comics now?
Oh, sure. Let's go to comics.
Okay. Marvel. You kind of want to do this thing now, I guess. So one of Marvel's biggest characters in their entire universe. We're not talking the cinematic universe. Huh?
Check your IM, by the way.
Gotcha. I'll take care of it. The whole thing with a lot of their major characters is that they always try to find some way of making them cool, new, and hip, and more often than not, they fail. So it looks like Marvel is going to try to take a page from DC. They announced a upcoming four-part limited series from with an interesting title called Death of Wolverine.
That's gonna last.
Yeah, exactly. I look at this and I'm like, you guys are seriously gonna do the DC, Death of Superman thing, where you're gonna so-called kill the unkillable, and he's gonna come back or seem to come back with 4 different egos. Or
he's not unkillable. They've actually explained how you can kill him.
True.
It's just not easy to do.
Yeah, it's just very not easy to do.
You can separate. He's like a Highlander. If you can separate his head from his body for a certain amount of time, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, they announced that issue 1 of this 4-part series will premiere September 3rd. So we have a ways.
Who's writing it?
It is written by Charles Soule and drawn by Steve McNiven. Okay. Soule's latest or past work actually included like the Thunderbolts and Marvel's Inhumans line.
Okay.
So I just look at this and I go, really, this is not going to be finite, even though they're trying to say they're coming to this story with a sense of finality, of closure. I'm like, you are not going to kill probably one of the most profitable characters in your franchise.
He will not stay dead for long. And that's fine. Well, was it DC or was it Marvel? No, it was Marvel. They recently killed 4 characters in a supposedly unresable way. They killed Rogue. They killed, God, I don't remember who the other 3. Nikki was telling me about it. But they actually, honest to God, killed them. Like, Rogue was down to bones. And there was others, and it's just like they're just like they really wrote them. You would have to be Stephen Moffat to get out of this corner, the way they wrote it. Okay, and they wrote him. They wrote it that way.
I mean, couldn't they easily just go the alternate universe route or another?
And I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because there was a lot of people who were pissed off at it, and it's just like, guys, it's a freaking. The guy at the comic was like, oh yeah, they're dead. They're unkillable or unresable. We can't possibly bring them back yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that yet.
Characters in DC and Marvel die and come back more often than Jay-Z retires and then comes back.
Or Kiss ends their tours.
Oh God, Kiss, yeah. This is our final one. And the last concert. We're doing another concert next week.
2 of the members did leave, though.
That's true.
Peter Criss and Ace Frehley are gone.
That's true.
It's now just Paul and Gene and the stand-ins.
Right.
Although they kept the makeup, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead, kill Wolverine. That should be interesting. I mean, honestly, it'd kind of be a mercy for the poor guy. Come on. Although, speaking of Marvel, before leaving for Portland, I spent 2 nights. I started playing through Deadpool again. And
really,
I still haven't finished it. I'm gonna try and finish it this week, and I may actually stream it. But have you ever actually sat at the things where you can annoy him and just kept doing it to see all the things they wrote for it?
Not really.
There's some hilarious. Check the phone, and he gets a call from Ryan, and it's like, how many times do I have to tell you? No, we're not doing this. We tried it once, didn't work. Which, of course, has to be the actor Ryan Reynolds.
Right. That's hilarious. I like it.
Stuff like that all throughout.
I still have it installed. I should probably look into that.
I've got it installed, and I'm thinking of doing, and I may tonight. I don't know. I'm thinking of doing a stream set of it.
Okay.
I've still got the borders you made for me. So.
Gotcha. Okay, cool deal. That would be fun to watch. I do have to say real quick, going back flipping from Marvel back over to DC again. DC's been doing these little shorts, DC Nation, on Cartoon Network.
Some of those are hilarious.
Some of them are fantastic. I mean, I remember the what was it? The ancient Chinese Batman,
the Batman?
Yeah,
Chinese Batman.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
That was amazing. There was actually a new short that was released last week that instantly hit epic nerd button for me and made me have a hope for a continuation because it looks so good. This is coming from Darwin Cook. He's worked on a number of all these animated movies, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series. He decided to work on a short, it's only like a minute 20 long, of another Batman series. Enjoy.
That was so cool. They even included the anime Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I love the fact that obviously they bring Kevin Conroy. That reminds me,
we still have to talk about WonderCon, but go on.
We do, yes. It was great to have Kevin Conroy back as the older Bruce Wayne as he was in so many other series, including Batman Beyond. And Will Friedle comes back to voice Terry McGinnis.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So I look at this and I'm like, give me more.
Yeah. No,
I loved Batman Beyond. And the fact that they're actually tying in to a 2-part special that happened in the Batman animated series, the robot Batman. That's hard.
Tied into that.
Yeah.
Well, there's tying into that. There's also remember I went through and watched all the JLAs and JLUs recently?
Mm-hmm.
There's a point where they go future hunting, basically, and end up in the Batman Beyond universe. And there's some very interesting information revealed about McGinnis's parentage, shall we say.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's they're tying interesting bits up together there. I would love to see more of that.
Yeah, I looked at that and I went, "Oh, come on. You can't tease me like that." I mean, it's great to have it come back. You've proven that yes, you could still do this. Just continue.
Yeah, no shit. Just come on, do more, dude.
Yeah. That's the way I look at it. So, it was a nice little bit there. Just I think I'm just gonna. We have a few more minor things we were gonna talk about. Do you want to just jump all the way to just WonderCon for right now, or?
No, we could talk about WonderCon next week.
Okay, we'll talk about WonderCon next week. I do want to make the announcement that BlizzCon 2014 was announced.
I know.
It's coming back to the Anaheim Convention Center, back to the ACC, November 7th and 8th, and tickets will be going on sale in 2 batches. We know the dates: May 7th at 7 p.m. Pacific, and then May 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Did you catch the price?
Yes, sadly they bumped it up. $200.
I know.
$200 a ticket.
I gotta find a way to get $200.
I'm looking at some going.
Actually, I need $400 because if I go without Nikki, she'll kill me.
Any higher, this is gonna be like Comic-Con level tickets.
But you know what?
But I kind of rather go to BlizzCon than Comic-Con, to be honest.
Yeah,
I've been to Comic-Con.
Having been to WonderCon, actually, fuck it, we'll talk about WonderCon now.
Yeah, go for it.
Got to meet a lot of cool people. I learned about something called the sexy lamp test.
Yes.
Which is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I've determined that not just because of his art style, but just because of his attitude, Jim Lee is now my favorite artist. We saw he did an inking panel where he was talking about stuff, and what he did is he brought 3 aspiring artists out of the audience,
Right.
and he gave them a script for 2 pages from a future an upcoming episode of Batman Eternal. I think it was Batman Eternal, one of the Batmans.
All right.
And trying to draw all this stuff, and he was wisecracking the entire time. Like, one of the guys was with a pen, he's like, really confident in your skills, you can draw in Sharpie, huh? Yeah, here's a pencil, it's probably more your speed. And it's just, oh my god, the guy was hilarious. There's one thing where they were talking about, because there's a scene where they Batman drops the bat plane, one of the bat planes, on top of Wraith, who's found his way into the Batcave, and they were joking about how he literally drops it, like claps, and it falls on him. And there's this one scene, and the guy had blocked out, the artist had blocked out the shape of Batman standing up the covers looking down on him. He's like, what are you standing up here like? Well, like he's got a rope. And he's, okay, fine. He inks it in, draws Batman holding a rope, and writes hee above the shoulder. Oh man, that was awesome. We also went to the Strong Female Characters panel, which had Kelly Sue Draconic and Grace. Oh, I forget her name. Kelly Sue's one that sticks out in my mind. I'll have more for you next week. But they did I learned of something called the sexy lamp test.
Please explain.
The sexy lamp test is a way you can determine if your female character is actually strong. This is invented and created by Kelly Sue, who's a Portland native, it turns out, but that's beside the point. Or at least she lives up there. Her words were, the way the sexy lamp test is, if you take your female character out of the scene or out of the book, replace her with a sexy lamp, and it doesn't affect your storyline or your plot at all, then fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. You're a hack. Those were her exact words. So we got her to sign. Nikki got her to sign a issue of Pretty Deadly, which is one of the books she writes, and had her autograph with no sexy lamps, please.
See, that's just something that you wouldn't understand or get unless you actually went there and you can actually experience it.
But the concept of the sexy, yeah, exactly. You have to go to experience these things. But the concept of the sexy lamp is a really good way to determine if your character is worth its weight, or if it's just there as eye candy. Which there's a place for eye candy, but not as a core character.
Very true.
And I think that was more the point. There was some really cool stuff at WonderCon.
Okay.
Including the duck face seen around Facebook. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You saw that picture.
But overall, you had a good time there. It was well
overall,
worth it.
I had a fantastic time, and I want to go again.
Good.
I do.
Very good.
I would go to this over Comic-Con.
Really?
The vendors hall is bigger at Comic-Con, but among the other things that I got to do was I got to meet and chat and bullshit with Samwise Didier.
For those of you who don't know, he is. If you are a fan of World of Warcraft, you know his work. You got an angle. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, God.
Signed.
Such amazing artwork.
We picked up another one. Let me see if it's over here. I have to show this on the show. There's a reason I have to show it on the show.
Uh-oh.
We got a couple pieces. We got one for Jen, our friend Jen. We got a picture of.
Oh yes, this one. Okay.
Okay. So we got. I also got him to sign this one for me.
Cute.
And then we got this one for another friend who doesn't know they're getting it yet.
That is awesome.
But they're gonna know now. Hold on.
Yeah, that is amazing. The thing is, though, is that I've seen a number of cosplayers of that character, but none of them, while they are good, none of them ever come close.
Well, that's not Sylvanas.
No, I'm just saying that when people try to cosplay these characters, they get really close, but when you get pieces of art like that,
oh yeah, there's very few exceptions.
Yeah,
this year we had a couple.
Really?
One of them, well, we had Nick there in his Varian Rin outfit. Now that he's completed the armor, it's beautiful. In fact, he posted a picture of him with Sam.
Really?
And there's this person he runs around with who does Varian Rin, or Anduin,
okay,
who's really good. And then there was a woman running around as a troll who, badass. She looked epic.
Okay, nice.
So there are a few who do it and do it well. Unfortunately, the one I want to do is going to be a royal pain in the butt. You just got to glitz. We may never
get starting on it.
There's actually safe stuff on my desktop, Tybalt. I think it was Tybalt. No, HPL. Ruben. Seriously though. But yeah, there was some really cool stuff and more R2 units than you can shake a stick at.
I can, yeah. I saw a ton of R2 units in the pictures online. I saw.
See the life-size Wally?
Life-size Wally.
2 of them fully functional.
God, that's nice.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I saw one of them at Kamikaze last year. Up close and personal. The amount of detail these people put into these is insane.
Oh yeah. I mean, I will be building an R2 unit. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, we've known this for years.
It's going to happen.
Yes, very much. Well, given our time frame, let's should we wrap as we always do?
Start?
We started about 5-7 minutes late, so
okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
So what are we watching?
Yes, Michael, I know you've been on a trip.
Yeah,
let me go first, I guess, this time. Aside from watching a boatload of the new anime that's out there, some of it's getting much better. I'm still very surprised at Macaco City Actors.
I've only seen the first episode. I want to see more.
And the second episode is kind of like a precursor to the third one. There's not much going on, but
so you don't. So would they set it up to where she really? They leave you with that cliffhanger?
Okay, the thing is though, there's about 8 characters that have these special talents, so they have to introduce each one of them in their own backstory. So it looks like what they're going to be doing is
watch the AI wreak havoc.
Yes.
You know? They set it up for her to do just that.
And I'm quite sure we will see that in the very near future. But It looks like for at least the next 2 episodes, it's going to focus on this other girl. and just continue on each character's backstory, at least a brief backstory, before they each get into an event that causes all of them to meet up and interact and band together.
Well, I think we've seen the event that causes them to meet up and hang out.
Well, at least one of them, yes. So I mean, that one looks interesting. Trying to think what else is there. Okay, there is a bit of a tearjerker because the character is so sweet and yet has such a sad backstory. And even though it's predictable as all hell, it's still a tearjerker.
Okay.
There's a series called 1 Week Friends. Basically, you have this boy in high school, Yuki Hase. He's concerned about a classmate of his, Kaori Fujimiya, if I remember correctly. She's always stays alone, never tries to make any friends, and he's trying, like, you know what, I'm going to try to make friends with you. And you start wondering, what's her problem? You kind of start finding out that she's always denying her friendship with the boy. That's not on purpose. For some reason, she has a memory disorder that has her memories disappear, all her memories, with every week. It's like her brain resets every week.
It's 50 First Dates.
It is 50 First Dates, the anime, in high school, and it works a hell of a lot better.
Okay.
The animation is very basic, but given the palettes, the color palettes that they use, it actually works to their advantage. And God damn it, they're already pulling at the strings. There are so many feels already in this anime. I've only watched 3 episodes.
Question: Macaca City Actors, is that the same studio that does Monogatari? Because it looks very similar.
It looks very Shaftish, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's because it is.
Okay.
I mean, down to like the looking over the shoulder from behind, angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like, if I tried to do that myself, I would snap my own neck.
Yeah, exactly. the human neck does not bend that direction. Yes.
So
they well, okay. So what else you got, or do I get to go into what I've been watching?
That's gonna be it for me for this week. So
okay. Well, for me, I'm still doing. I'm still working my way through Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually into season 4 now.
Nice.
So it's getting there. I've been watching something else on BBC America that is, if you get a chance to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's The Real History of Science Fiction.
I heard about this. I haven't watched any episodes yet.
It's a 4-part series. It's a 4-part series. Mm-hmm. They've got two parts done. The next part, they've done robots and space. The next one is Alien Invasion, and it's going to premiere next Saturday after Orphan Black. And basically what it is they talk about the history of science, a very condensed history of science fiction and aspects of it. And they get people who were involved in making it, writing it, acting in it, etc. So, like for the robots portion,
mm-hmm.
they talked about they got Rutger Hauer in,
nice.
And he talked about doing Roy Batty and the Tears in the Rain line that he apparently improv'd. The best line in Batty's speech was Rutger Hauer's improv.
Okay, it's easy to see that. Yes.
And then they had Peter Weller talking about RoboCop, and you get a sense of the depth, the actual depth that's there. They talked about Star Trek. They talked about Silent Run. And they even talked about Dark Star, for crying out loud. It's really cool. Each episode's about an hour. And they have like I said, they had Rutger Hauer, Peter Weller. Why can't I not remember his damn name? Plays Mal on Firefly.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they had him. They had Nichelle Nichols.
Really?
Oh yeah. They interviewed.
I say this because for some reason I thought that she passed away.
No. She's still around. They talked about. They've got the original Dave from 2001. The original actor who played Dave Bowman.
Oh, okay.
and they talk about him. They talk with him about, you know, Nathan Fillion. Thank you.
Yeah, Kubi, I kind of fail. I could not remember Nathan Fillion's name.
I don't know why I forgot it either. But and it's really it's like I said, it's kind of condensed, but it's got some really good info and some really good stories. And they talk about William Gibson and Neuromancer. They talk about a little bit of the Matrix. They talk about, oh man, I mean, all sorts of stuff. It's definitely, if you get a chance to catch it. It's completely worth it.
Okay. I'll definitely have to look into that one. It's on my to watch list now. I still have my to watch list for like network television and just TV in general is slowly building up as I just been like watching anime nonstop.
I haven't been watching anime nonstop, but I've been doing other stuff nonstop.
Yeah, very true, very true. Are you current on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yes, I am. To answer Kubi's question, they talk about cyberspace a little bit. That where they come into that, where they covered into it so far, is kind of along the metal to organic versus organic to metal cyborgs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about it a bit. They talked a little bit about the Matrix in that regard, but more from the sense of, you know, man's creation taking over man. And then William Gibson talked about the Matrix, or it was called The Matrix before The Matrix came out, and that's the part that pisses me off. I mean, there were people like myself who were referring to things like the world inside of Tron as The Matrix long before the Matrix movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Wachowskis.
Yeah.
But they did talk a little bit about it. They're going to talk more about it from what I'm gathering later on.
Okay.
And they talked about world creation being a big part about space. And they talked about they interviewed Kenny Baker. They interviewed Anthony Daniels. So
that makes you kind of need those if you're going to talk about robots.
Well, and they talked about it from world creation as well, being a big deal. And they got some other classic authors in there. It's totally cool. And I'm sorry, please continue with what you were going to go with now.
No. I was basically going to say there was one little bit of news that happened over the weekend that we didn't talk about yet, but I'm just going to bring it up in passing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a certain documentary team trying to film a
oh yes.
So
the legend is true.
Yes. So we talked about it last week about how Microsoft and this Canadian documentary team was going to see if they could uncover the urban legend of the ET landfill,
whether or not it really happened.
Right. So we were expecting to just see a lot of this. Surprise, surprise! They actually hit pay dirt. They actually freaking found it.
Oh my god! I really wonder what they're going to do with them. I mean, are people going to sell these, or are they just going to take them and properly recycle them? Because that's technically a toxic landfill.
It is technically a toxic landfill. Apparently, everybody who's on the documentary team can actually take, I think, 50 copies home.
Oh, those will be hitting eBay soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't hit eBay yet.
I'm surprised there haven't been emulations up already.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the legend is real. I was reading all the tweets about it. Yeah,
that is awesome. They're moving forward on the new black hole.
Are they?
Yeah, I don't know much beyond that other than they've greenlit it. It's happening, from what I heard.
Okay. We'll have to keep up on that. I'm still curious. Yeah, I'm still curious to see how what's it called? Tomorrowland is going to shape up, because all the little bits and pieces that we're receiving about this upcoming movie that deals with elements of the land from Disneyland, actually has me very curious. Or it could all be a big smokescreen and be something completely different.
You never know. You never know. I kind of like the idea of going on Star Tours and getting boarded by stormtroopers, but oh wait, I did that in a game once. I remember that. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it could be very cool. But that's pretty much it for me for this week. We got through a bunch of stuff. Didn't even get through everything. We'll hold off on some of these other articles until next week, just because they seem something that you guys would be interested in. You have anything else to add on this one, Michael? Or
I'm good. I'm still recovering from the trip, so I apologize for not being all there today, guys.
It's all good.
I've been going since 4 this morning, so
yeah, you need to get some sleep, my friend.
At some point.
Yes. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. You'll catch us next week at our regular time, 7 p.m. as always. You can also catch Anna Break every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific. Stay tuned for post show and for From My Mother's Basement. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
We will see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.